Today we're doing a blower motor replacement on this Carrier HVAC system, and the background on this project is approximately 1 year ago the blower motor started making noise, chirps and little screeching sounds, but nothing constant or consistent. Knowing that the blower motor was going to go out eventually, I purchased one, and this one is from Genteq, and it matches in terms of numbers and size and all of that to the unit. And I also purchased the capacitor for this. So I'm not a professional HVAC repairman. This is DIY. I have replaced the induction motor in the past that scavenges the carbon monoxide out of the house or out of the unit and puts it outside. Otherwise, this should be straightforward to remove the parts and pieces necessary to pull the blower motor out, and then I'm hoping it's plug and play. We shall see. And it is a near 100-degree day outside in September, so yeah, we are without air conditioning on one level. We have another furnace or HVAC unit here providing AC to the second floor in our house, but the first floor and the basement are currently not being cooled, so I'm very anxious to get this in. I'm going to work through this as quickly as I can. This is not going to be a detailed step-by-step guide. There is another video on YouTube of a gentleman who has done this same project, and he does get into some details that I'm not going to get into each and every nut and bolt that comes off and all of that. This is really to give you perhaps another perspective, another view, and if I run into any hurdles, I'll certainly talk about that, but otherwise this is going to be a straightforward blower motor swap out. I've done it before, not on this unit, and we'll see how it goes. The blower motor assembly is now removed from the unit. I haven't pulled it completely out. You don't need to do that. I have it positioned on this box. That should be good enough, and I have this box here suspended with this bungee. There's really no tension on the wires, so nothing is being stressed. And before you start any project like this, make sure that you turn off the breaker or the power to the unit. We actually have a switch at the unit, and we also have the breaker itself, so I've turned off everything going into this unit. The next step will be to remove this capacitor, and to do so safely you want to discharge it first. I'm not going to show how to do that. There's plenty of videos on how that is done, but unless you like or want a trip to the ER, you'll want to safely discharge this and then remove it and properly discard it. Again, I have a new one here on the floor. So after that, I will remove the supports. They're held in place with, I don't know what size these are, bigger than a 10mm, maybe a 12 or something, but we'll take these standoffs here, and they have the rubber isolators to dampen vibration, and then we'll get the motor out on the floor and we'll perform the switch, and we'll connect the dots with the wiring. The wiring is color coded, which is very helpful. Just a quick caption to show that I have cut the wires and I've left them in place on the circuit board. That way I know what color goes to what plug-in, or how they're plugged in. And then of course these wires are going to be discarded anyway. Actually, I'll probably strip these off and save them, because this is some nice copper wiring, but that's the idea, is just get yourself freed up and you don't have to mess with trying to feed wires in and over top one another, and you know where the new wires go in terms of colors. On to the next step. The motor has been removed from the fan or the scroll cage, whatever you prefer to call it. The most difficult part of this was getting the scroll cage, the fan, off of the motor shaft, because there was some corrosion. So I grabbed some PB Blaster and fired away, and through some hammering and patience I managed to remove the motor. So we're almost to the point now where we turn the corner and start putting things back together. The only thing I have to do is remove this bracket from the motor and apply it to the new motor. So and then of course reverse the whole installation. So new shaft will go into the scroll cage. And if someone is yelling at the screen now and saying, hey, you know, you should just replace that whole assembly, I guess some people do that. I'm not doing that. There's no reason to do that. There's nothing wrong with this fan or the shroud or any of that. So things are a bit of a mess here on the floor, but progress is being made. No major hang-ups or mistakes yet. So I'll get this bracket off of the motor, installed on the new motor in the proper orientation. I will do some measuring and make sure that it's exactly where it should be. And we'll move on to the next step. Another quick checkpoint. Both of the motors are positioned on the floor, and the old motor has been removed from the bracket. So this is what it looks like. I did actually make some markings there just so I could have some position reference when the new bracket or the pre-existing bracket goes on the new motor, which is here. So that's the next step, and we'll move on. Sorry for all the background white noise, but that's the situation we have here with the hot water heater running and the other HVAC system. So where are we? The motor is now back in the housing. We've got the capacitor installed as well. Everything is tightened. Remember to make sure that, you know, the rubber isolators stay in place. I could argue that you should really replace those, because rubber only has a finite number of cycles until it just breaks down. But I didn't have those handy, so I reused the old ones. Maybe at some point I'll swap them out. The only thing that's not really secure in the housing is the scroll cage or the fan itself. It's on the shaft, but it's not actually tightened. And you have to make sure that the scroll cage is centered inside this shroud, this housing, and it takes a little bit of work to do that. It's not too bad, but I've gotten it wrong. When I inspected this over a year ago, it was yeah, I put it back in correctly, and I realized my problem rather quickly. So I want to make sure that this is where it should be. It's nicely centered left to right, and it's not touching either of the sides. That's it. We're going to go ahead and put the fan shroud back in the furnace, and then we will connect the dots with the colored wires here. So it's looking pretty good. I'm happy. Moving on. Before placing the shroud and the housing back in the furnace in the HVAC unit, I wanted to show what I was talking about regarding the fan or the scroll cage. It needs to be centered, so this might not be perfect, but as you see this lip coming out, it should not be touching the side on either side. So as you spin this, even with that slower rotation, I'm getting a face full of air, and there's no noise, so it's not touching. You know, this scroll wheel is not perfectly true. If you watch, it's just a little bit of a bend in one spot. So try to make sure that it's in the center, it spins freely, and you're good to go. One last thing, and this is a securing nut. Make sure the securing nut is on the flat part of the shaft. It would be very easy to put that on wrong, and then your motor would be spinning faster than the scroll cage or the fan itself. So just something to remember. Little things, little details, not a big deal, and we'll go ahead and get this installed. The fan shroud, the new motor, and the new capacitor are back in the unit. There are two holding screws, one here and one over on this side. So the unit slides in, and then those things are just there to keep it in place. Otherwise, all we have left is to route the wires up into the panel, and it should be pretty straightforward. So we'll wrap this up, and then I'll go ahead and put the condensation trap back on, and the next video clip should be a completed project. Of course, I'll be testing it to make sure it works. One final look before the cover panel goes on to take care of the safety switch here. All the connections are back in place. The condensation trap is everything's reconnected. All the hoses are where they should be, and that's about it. These wires here are properly routed through the grommet. Everything's nice and tight, so we're going to go ahead and button this up and give it a try, see how this works. So very anxious to get this air conditioning back in operation again. It was a very scorching hot day here, but fortunately our second air conditioning unit helped keep the house at a relatively comfortable temperature, but some of the remote parts of the house were just too warm. So anyway, looking forward to getting this plugged in and or I should say get power back to it, flip the breaker, turn on everything and see how it works. And this is the last segment of the video. The unit is now fully functional. It's back up and running. Thank goodness for that. Producing nice, cool air. So I'm going to keep an eye on it for just a little bit. I'll put the cover panel back on, but everything seems to be working as it should. The LED is on, so we are good to go. No other comments. It was mostly a plug and play operation. I'm not familiar with the Genteq brand of motors, but I'm hoping for the best. It seemed to be the choice of replacement motors online, so hope it works out. And I hope this has been helpful.